Welcome to Best Life 30, your 30-day journey to creating the best life possible for yourself. You can just watch this video or can sign up for free and get the bonus companion worksheets that go along with each video by checking the link down in the description below. All right, today is day 26 and we're gonna learn how to think big.
You think I could book that for like the weekend of the 14th when the soundtrack comes out? If so, bump somebody. All right, thanks. All right, love you, man. Bye. I got my MTV out. Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get! Yes! What's next? What's next? I gotta get it. I'm not gonna stay down. I'm not gonna stay lying down. I'm not. I can't do it, man. I can't do that. What's next? Give me something else. What can't you do? I can do it. I can do anything.
I'm taking my Amazon lottery winnings and I'm converting them into reusable rocket vehicles so that we can lower the cost of access to space. Because right now the price of admission to do interesting things in space is just too high. If I look at what Amazon was able to do 20 years ago, we didn't have to build a transportation network. It already existed. That heavy lifting was in place. We didn't have to build a payment system. That heavy lifting had already been done. It was the credit card system. We didn't have to put a computer at every desk. That had already been done too, mostly for playing games, by the way, and so on. So all the pieces of heavy lifting were already in place 20 years ago. And that's why, with $1 million, I could start this company. Today, and then there are even better examples on the internet over the last 20 years. Facebook started in a dorm room. I guarantee you 2 kids cannot build a giant space company in their dorm room. It's impossible. But I want to create the heavy lifting infrastructure, kind of do the hard part, so that the future generation, 2 kids in a dorm room, will be able to create a giant space company.
Society and folks like me put an unfair pressure on people to have a vision, right? And I think that's true. We're not all Steve Jobs and we don't all have big world-changing visions, to your point. I do believe, however, you can find a vision, right? In other words, it doesn't have to be yours. It can be someone else's. We found Martin Luther King. We found Mahatma Gandhi. We found Steve Jobs. We found Richard Branson, Elon Musk, the visionaries. And people go, I love his vision. So organize your business around that, right? You don't have to have a vision, but I do believe you have to find one. People find it in religion, You follow whatever you follow, right? You become a follower of. So you can say, and you can say theirs is yours. I believe in that. And we're organizing our company around helping to build that world.
Yeah.
So I don't believe you have to have one. I do believe you have to find one.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And it doesn't have to always operate at a macro level. It absolutely can operate at a micro level, right? It can be the way you raise your family, the way you treat your friends.
How do you come with this idea, actually? Sometimes they're pushing the human limit. You are always pushing the human limit. Why?
Well, I think about what technology solution is necessary in order to achieve the particular goal, and then try to make as much progress in that direction as possible. I think being a multi-planet species and being out there among the stars is important for the long-term survival of humanity, and that's one reason, kind of like life insurance for life collectively, life as we know it. But then the part that I find personally most motivating is that it creates a sense of adventure, and it makes people excited about the future. If you consider 2 futures, one where we are forever confined to Earth until eventually something terrible happens, or another future where we are out there on many planets, maybe even going beyond the solar system, I think that second version is incredibly exciting and inspiring, and there need to be reasons to get up in the morning. Life can't just be about solving problems. Otherwise, what's the point? There's got to be things that people find inspiring and make life worth living.
And I want people to understand this: dream big, but get small wins, though. You know what I'm saying? You can dream big, but get the small wins. And those small, I'll never forget hearing John Elway speak once. You know, John Elway was like, yo, I became great by being good over a long period of time. You know, and so for me it was, all right, Didi's leaving, she's going to college, if I can get my GED. That's all I need to focus on right now is let me get the GED. And here's the thing I never realized. By having a girlfriend, it was like, I'm not dating anybody that's selling dope. I'm not dating anybody that's, you know, violent. You know, I'm not dating nobody that's carrying a gun. So for me—
Those were wins.
Yeah, so for me, it was like, I didn't even know by being with her, it stopped me from doing some of the stuff that had I not had a purpose, I probably would have been doing what my boys were doing. Because I was with them, I just wasn't doing what they were doing. You know, so the GED was the first win. Then I ended up following her, going to college. Now, our first college was Oakwood, went to a very small school in Alabama. But then after I finished that, and I was speaking at the time, and so now universities are like, University of Cincinnati saw me, University of Louisville, Michigan State. So Michigan State came and said, hey, all these guys like you, but we want to court you. Like, we want you to come get a degree and eventually work for the university. So I'm thinking high school dropout, you know, I got a 4-year degree. I go to Michigan State, like I can make my mama proud again. I'm from Detroit. So it's U of M or it's Michigan State. And so I'm like, yo, I can reverse this thing. My little sister went to U of M. So if I go to Michigan State, my mom, that's like house money. You know what I'm saying? That's like, mom could be proud of me again. Because, you know, of course, leaving home, you know, we get into it. You know, it was a point where my mom was kind of discouraged. Like, I didn't raise you like this. You know, so to go to Michigan State, get a master's degree, it's like, yo, I can make mama proud. And then when she came to the graduation all excited, I'm like, hey, I might as well get the PhD. You know, let's just finish it up, bring her back one more time. And some of the pain that I caused her, I'm sure another degree is only gonna make her that, you know, much more. So I just say, man, start with the small wins.
Spanx was profitable from the first month that I was in business. And I'm of the belief system for me in my journey to start small, think big, and scale fast. And a lot of people want to start big and think big and oftentimes get ahead of themselves. And that can end wildly successfully, but it can also cause a lot of problems. And you dilute yourself down a lot, and you know, then you have a lot of other people you're answering to. So that just was the journey that I took. You know, I mean, I started it with $5,000. I've never had any outside funding. And whatever money I made from selling Spanx, I just put back into the business.
I love that. Start small, think big.
What is it you're really after? And is it after are you after enough for yourself? Are you limiting yourself based on your current competencies? A lot of people do that. They narrow their vision or their ambition for tomorrow based on what they can do today or who they are today without realizing they can develop their mastery, their skills, their competency, their knowledge, their experience without realizing they can become a better person. They can live into their highest self. They can live into the type of person who could accomplish those goals, who could have those things. So never limit your ambitions based on your current competencies. Never limit yourself today based on your current inadequacies, because those can be irrelevant tomorrow. The main thing is to have aim in life, to have your own aim, to have your own ambitions, not the ambitions somebody told you you should have or someone told you you're supposed to be after, because that's how we all get on sort of, you know, sometimes a corporate treadmill, or we get on those things where we just start trying to live a life that's not even our own because we're just going with everybody. But ambition liberates that. Your individual ambition, who you want to become, what you want to do, what you want to contribute. And the highest forms of all ambition usually come down to your creative expression, your contribution, and your connection with others. That creative expression. What is it you want to create in this world? And I mean, get your hands dirty doing, you know? Not just create some PowerPoint once in a while for some corporate thing, but something real and meaningful that you consider art for yourself, whatever that is. Even if it is a PowerPoint presentation, right? But to do something that you find artistic and meaningful, that's our human drive for creative expression. Then, what about contribution? What's your ambition to give and to serve greatly for others? What do you really want to give back or give to others? What is it? And what about connection? You know, the ultimate ambition and aim to have, I think, for a lot of people is their relationships. to operate and have a love that knows no bounds. I mean, a love that is extraordinary, that is amazing. You can't improve your relationship with your family or your spouse or those that you serve unless you have in some sense about you that desire to love or give or connect more. So today, get clear. What is it you want? And is it big enough for yourself? Not limiting yourself based off your inadequacies, your competencies, but based on what you truly desire. Last challenge, take whatever that is that you come up with and 10x it. Take it by 10 times. What would be 10 times that ambition? Not just because it's silly, I know it's kind of silly, but to take that ambition that you initially have, which is usually, what we usually want is an impulse based on who we are today. And I just challenge people, no, think bigger for yourself because you are immense, you are magnificent, you are powerful beyond your current understandings. So break through that another level. Challenge your brain to think even bigger for yourself, even if it's just as an activity to break the bounds of your current beliefs and behaviors. You deserve something extraordinary in your life, but at first, you have to want it.
I think that, as you know, right now the computer industry is in the tank. Personal computers, big computers, everything. And it's difficult, it's a difficult time, but I'm sure that Henry Ford had a few bad quarters back in the 1920s. And the automobile had a sort of historical imperative. It had, the minute it was invented, a sequence of events had to happen. The same is true with the personal computer. There is a tremendous momentum behind this. And I think that this year may be a delay. This year we may look back and say, well, 1985 was a slow year, but there is such momentum behind this that it will happen. It will permeate and change forever our educational processes. And my hope, again, is that not too many generations of students will pass through before this happens. It will happen within 20 years. It probably will happen within 10 years. But it could happen within 5 years. I am going back to the United States this weekend, and then about 2 weeks from today, I'll be in the Soviet Union for the first time in Moscow, because one of my dreams has been to sell Macintoshes in the Soviet Union. And one of the highest agendas on my priority is to get them starting to think about exactly the same thing. So maybe 6 months or a year and a half from now, we can have some Soviet schools here at our Europe Consortium meeting.
Jeff is worth about $150 billion, the founder of Amazon. This is what he looked like almost 20 years ago. 20 years ago, they laughed at him. 20 years ago, he wasn't worth $20,000, let alone $150 billion. Now he's got a company, roughly speaking, around $1 trillion. A little less, maybe $150 billion less because of the sell-off in the market, etc. But they laughed at him. He had an idea. He had a dream. Like him, I had a dream about 35 years ago. I am the first person on the planet that took an option for something he did not own, public, on a major stock exchange. I'm going to say, okay, I don't own that book, right? I paid him $1. I want an option. I'll give you $5 for that book a year from now. I took an option. I took that book, not owning it, and I sold it on the New York Stock Exchange for $150 million. That's what I did. And that was the beginning of my quantum leap.
To be a great leader, to inspire other people, here's what I believe in, that you must have something that is bigger than yourself in order to inspire people, in order to enroll people into your vision. Example, if you talk to your employee, you talk to your team member, and you say, hey, you know what, this is why we're doing this, so that I could make enough money so that I could retire, or so that I could build this business, so that I could be living the 10-hour work week or 12-hour work week to be a lifestyle entrepreneur. See, that doesn't inspire anybody because it's all about me. So to be a great leader, to inspire other people, you gotta have a vision that is so big, that's so compelling, that other people want to be part of that. Right? It's like, imagine you are the captain of this ship and you're saying, hey, this is where we're going. We're going to this island and it's going to be great. And we are going to have all these great things when we get there. And that's like, wow, people look at that and say, yeah, I want to be part of that. But I want to join this journey. I want to join alongside and be alongside with you. And maybe there's some obstacles. There will always be challenges. There will be waves in the ocean, but that's okay. I want to join you and help you to fight along and be alongside with you going through this journey. So I believe very much that leader needs to think about what is your mission.
Think big. My mind's still running through all the conversations I had with Arnold Schwarzenegger last night in his kitchen. Talked to him for about an hour. It's one of the greatest conversations I've ever had, and that's one of the takeaways. Think big. He told me, he said he always thought big. He said, don't worry about failure so much, Ty. How far can you really fall? We're all only a few feet from the ground. And I was thinking, mentors. He told me about his mentor, Reg Park, his first mentor. And I thought, that's what's wrong in the world. That's why it's so easy to feel lost. Who do we have guiding our way? You got to go out and you have to find people. You have to find people who have done it before, who can shorten the path, who can keep you from failure. He told me, he said, don't fail too much. One of the reasons he doesn't procrastinate and can think big, he said, is because he at 20 years old won Mr. Olympia. So he said he got used to success and he tasted success. And so, make sure you find some little wins in life. Don't always lose. It's a myth that you only want to learn from mistakes. Well, you learn from mistakes. They don't have to be yours, though. People in the modern world, with all this convenience we have, the next thing you know, all you're doing is just sitting around not accomplishing anything. Go out, conquer the world. Conquer your fears. Think big. That's all I could think. He's a big dude, strong, but his life was big. Made some mistakes, made a lot of great attempts and successes.
See, this is the problem I had as a young salesman, dude. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make 80 grand a year. It isn't worth it. Like if I make 80 grand a year as a salesman, I'm making $7,000 a month and I live in Miami, you're not going to do, it changes nothing. The opportunity has to change your life significantly enough that you're willing to read, study, dive in, right? You add a 0 to that right there. You add a 0 to that 80. Now I'm willing to learn. Every human being is like this, by the way. Every human being on this planet. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Comment, please. I add a 0 to that. You're going to do stuff that you wouldn't have done just a moment ago, okay? If I can show you how to go from 80,000 to 800,000, all of a sudden your creativity, you're like, I think I just met Van Gogh. God damn, I got some Madonna coming out of my butt. Okay? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I got music in my head. Like ding, 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 ding. You're like, because why, man? Because yeah, maybe the glass underneath my feet don't hurt so bad, right? Because why? Because the goal's big enough. Most people do not have goals that will change their lives. Therefore, they cannot lean into the opportunity hard enough. For those of you who own businesses, you need to create rings in your business, okay? So that Natalie can see, hey man, I can go outside I can go outside these rings and there's more opportunity out here for financial freedom. Or she stays right here and she doesn't resent me, she resents her. Because I keep throwing them out here. I'm like, hey, there's a $20,000 product you can sell right here. There's a $5,000 product you can get benefit from here. Oh, by the way, there's $1 million out here if you want to.
There's a lot of things I want to do. I always wanted to be a director. I think as well, I have so many girls come up to me and tell me that they want to be models, which is fine. It's not a bad thing. I just think there's so much to do. I just went to a wonderful talk about genetic engineering and neuroscience. And this man who was giving the talk explained these 10,000 kids from the age of 7 to 13 who are doing neuroscience. They do these competitions and wonderful things. And they're doing things in neuroscience which weren't done by him until he was 30. Like how quickly things like that are changing. And but they're not, there is an awareness board to cool stuff like that. Like, that sounds way cooler to me than being a model. But like, no one really knows about it. And I just think there are just so many things. I always say to girls, just dream bigger. Go for president, just keep going up. Astronauts, I don't know.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the best Live 30 questions of the day. It's not enough to just watch a video.